Bears Nation, Hollis Hall just turned up the volume. The kind of buzz you don't hear in pressers or see on a transactions page. You feel it in the hallway pace, the late-night lights in the scouting room, the quick, clipped, "we're good" from coaches who only talk like that when there's real movement. I'm bringing you the clean version without fluff. Why the front office warmed to an aggressive backfield upgrade. How the tape from Monday night sharpened the need. What the cap really says, not the myth. And how this changes Caleb Williams' life on 2nd and 6. Ride with me to the end, because the name lands when the timing makes sense and when the context makes it undeniable. I came out of the Washington win with one conviction. Ben Johnson's offense breathes when the run game punches first. We just saw the template in a one-point road grinder, 25-24, where Dandre Swift ripped 108 on 14 carries and Caleb tossed for 252 and a score. That's not window dressing. That's identity forming. Chicago's best version in 2025 keeps defenses on a swivel, steals safety eyes with motion, and turns play action into a lie detector. You can feel it drive by drive. When we threaten the edges and force linebackers to plant, Caleb's timing windows open and the ball travels cleaner. But let me keep it honest the way I always do here. Swift's breakout was the first 100-yarder of his season, and touches will always leak to DJ Moore on jet looks and to Caleb himself when he pulls on the zone red. That's fine. It's modern offense. The question is sustainability. In the cold months, when defenses have 6 weeks of tendencies logged, your run game either travels or you start playing uphill. That's where my phone started buzzing this morning. The consensus around the league is that Chicago can push from fun to rude with one addition that raises the floor every Sunday and raises the ceiling in January. Zoom into the numbers that didn't make the broadcast. For all the effort and creativity, the running back room's composite grade has hovered in that bottom third tier. 26 by one reputable grading lens. And that's with a line built to move people and a coordinator who sequences runs like a chess player. Translation, the blocking is there more often than the production suggests. If you overlay Ben Johnson's favorite families, wide zone into sift, duo with the tag-in tight end, counterbash off motion, there's meat on the bone for a back who sees the third. Cut and accelerates through arm tackles without losing his pads. And this is where New York's drama leaks into our opportunity. The Jets' room has been reshuffled. Their rookie hammer Bralin Allen earned real snaps, and internal priorities shifted toward other pending guys. Around that reality, a familiar star with real juice becomes the subject of "Are they listening?" calls. You know how this works. A summer of contract noise gets resolved with a short-term patch. Everybody smiles into week one. The season turns muddy, and the phones start heating up. That's not gossip. That's business when a team's arc and a player's peak stop pointing in the same direction. Before I drop the name, let me walk you through the football fit, because this is the part that actually wins games. Chicago needs a back who punishes light boxes without needing a new playbook. The job description is 3 lines long. Hit the front side with real pace. Read the backside with real intent. Finish every run with bad intentions and good ball security. He has to turn a 2-yard crease into 5 and a 5-yard crease into 2nd and 1. He has to threaten the alley so play action bites, and he has to be enough of a receiver that pony sets don't tip anything. The guy I'm about to say checks all of that and adds explosives you can build weeks around. All right. The move on the whiteboard is Breece Hall to the Chicago Bears. If your heart rate just jumped, you're not alone. This isn't a fantasy league crush. It's a real football solution. Hall is that rare back who runs like a sprinter with a linebacker's core. The first cut is violent, the second cut is patient, and the contact balance looks like he's wearing body armor. You've seen the tape. One step, plant, slide the shoulder through the gap. And now it's a foot race with safeties taking panic angles. That skill set is a force multiplier in Ben Johnson's script. Duo becomes a declaration. Wide zone becomes a dare. RPO becomes a trap because safeties who stick their nose in get gashed behind them. Let me give you the rotation picture, because this is where the offense turns into a puzzle you can't solve in a week. Early downs, you can stay in 12 personnel and hammer duo until the front squeezes. Then toggle to wide zone and force them to widen. Then pull the guard and hit counter with more dragging eyes across the grain. In hurry up, you go Pony, Swift, and Hall together and make defensive coordinators pick which one they want the linebacker matched against. You can motion Swift out, force a corner to travel, then hammer Hall into a 6-man box against light people. Or flip it and use Hall as the decoy gravity that buys Caleb a clean glance route to Cole Kmet. Every choice hurts. I know what you're thinking. What's the cost? That's the grown-up part. A franchise doesn't ship out a 24-year-old back with elite burst for pennies, and nobody here wants to blow up the draft. The framework that tracks is a day 2 pick, a second, tied to a conditional, day 3 that climbs with Chicago's playoff advancement or Hall's production thresholds. You protect yourself with playtime language. They protect themselves with upside if he goes nuclear in January. If the ass jumps into the first-round neighborhood, Brad Holmes has shown he'll keep his powder dry and walk. The beauty here is leverage. We're buyers, not beggars. We can be bold without being reckless .cap-wise. This is clean now and complicated later in the good way. Hall's current number is digestible. The extension conversation is where you get creative. Structure it as 2 new years with guarantees in year 1, roster triggers in year 2, and escalators tied to explosive plays and playoff wins. Front load what you can while Caleb is on the rookie deal. Sprinkle in not likely to be earned incentives that you'd love to pay because it means you're playing deep into January. And leave yourself a graceful exit if the miles stack in 2027. That keeps the locker room message honest. We'll pay for winning traits and protect the program from bad outcomes. Now the calendar. And why this lands right now. Chicago didn't just beat Washington. Chicago put on film that this offense is one punishing runner away from bullying scripts. Defensive coordinators hate bullies. They thrive on finesse they can disrupt. If you add Hall this month, you spend November teaching him the language. You let him and Swift trade punches in December. And you hit January with a 2-headed monster that makes cold weather football look like home cooking. It's not a toy, it's a tone. Let's talk what changes for Caleb Williams the moment this is real. Play action windows widen. The safety rotation slows a beat. Those second-level RPO gifts to Moore and Keenan Allen turn into layups because linebackers are half-stepping into the run fit trying to save their gap. In the red zone, where every blade of grass is expensive, the difference between settle for 3 and punch for 6 is often a back who refuses to die on first contact. Hall brings that refusal. Defenses pay for arm tackles with points. Caleb's stat line gets prettier, not because he's being babied, because he's being protected by fear. I won't sell you a postcard without the risk postcard on the back. Backs take hits. Usage invites attrition. The Bears would need a sports science plan that treats Hall like a race car scheduled maintenance. Snap count honesty and a willingness to ride the hot hand week to week without turning the room into a reality show. Locker room fit matters too. This culture is not fragile, but it is specific. The job here is to be the finisher, not the billboard. Come in, carry bad intentions, pass protect like your quarterback is your brother, and don't flinch on 3rd and 2. Everything else is noise. If you're a tape head, here's where I'm circling for the first 3 games if this goes live. Watch the backside safety on wide zone. When he starts cheating downhill, Johnson will go glance post behind his ear, and you'll see the crowd stand before the ball arrives. Watch duo on 2nd and 7. If Hall is falling forward for 4 yards on contact, the game is telling you it's over. Watch the way linebackers scrape on jet motion. If they freeze, the quarterback run game becomes real again without asking Caleb to be a battering ram. That's how one player can make 10 plays easier without touching the ball on half of them. I want your take before I button this up. Because Bears News Fan Report is a two-way street, and this community thinks like coaches. What's your number on the trade? Would you move a second and a conditional fifth if it locks defenses in single high and lets Caleb throw on rhythm? How would you split the touches? Swift as the changeup or Hall as the hammer? Or do you ride the hot hand and dare people to stop you? Who's your closing five in the 4-minute drill with a lead? Do you want the extra lineman? Or do you force light personnel and run against it on purpose? Drop your plan below. I'm reading all of it, and I'll bring the smartest packages into the next video. Here's my clean read to close. Chicago just earned the right to be ambitious. A back who punishes light boxes and turns play action into truth serum is not a luxury purchase. It's how you cash in a rookie QB runway. Breece Hall fits the jersey and the calendar. The price only makes sense if it stays sane. The cap only matters if you structure it with a future. And the locker room only hums if the message is clear. This is a team about finishing, not flashing. If New York truly listens, this is the rare swing that raises the ceiling without cracking the floor. I'm in on the pursuit and discipline on the price. Go if it's a second plus a conditional. Walk if it becomes ego tax. Either way, the Bears just put the league on notice that the run game won't be a suggestion in January. Lock in with me, subscribe, hit the bell, and stay close to Bears News Fan Report. When this story turns from calls to ink, I'll bring you the cap mechanics, the install details, and the ripple effects from the first snap he takes in navy and orange.